Hey guys, how's it going? We're here with another great episode of Green Dreamers. We are talking today about a tournament that Tyler and I went to recently.
Yeah, the Festival of Fools up in Toledo, put on by Mark Kramer. Shout out to Mark. Great job, great tournament, great prize support.
Yeah, Mark actually helped us out. He edited these videos for us, which we're going to talk about. This is the last round of Swiss.
Before the top cut.
Yeah, before the top cut. There were, 31 players overall?
Yep. And
so, yeah, we did 5 rounds of Swiss, cut to top 8. But this is the last round of Swiss. We've got Chris Thompson on the left with Lannister, Reigns of Castamere. And then I'm on the right playing Lannister, Reigns of Castamere. This is pretty much the deck we talked about in one of our other videos.
Yeah, one of our first videos since we came back this year.
We've been playing a lot with the deck at different store championships, and it's been performing very well. So
it's gone through a couple changes, but pretty small, and this is pretty much the final version of it.
Yeah, so let's just start.
Just jump right in.
Jump right in. Yeah. So setups were pretty
pretty even.
Yeah,
both Cersei, decent characters, a little bit of economy on either side. Nate, you've got a Chud and Shadow Black. He's got another 4-cost character.
Yeah, okay. So plots are kind of hard to see. So this turn, Chris played Calling the Banners.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's getting 2 gold, and he chose me to go. Who went first?
You went first.
He chose me to go
Summer
first.
Harvest.
Yeah, because that's the right thing. You want to go second. I played Summer Harvest. That's, we've talked about that. That's a good opener plot.
A pretty typical opener for this deck.
And I'm wondering if Chris might have known that this is probably what I'm going to open with, because 3 gold for Summer Harvest, that's pretty low.
That's pretty bad. Maybe we should stop making videos about all our decks now.
I guess that's the downside. But then we have to be popular for it to matter. So then he also wins initiative. I actually kind of like this Calling the Banners play here. Not a lot of gold, but he definitely took some advantages away from my start.
You can kind of see it right here. Chris has got Treachery in his hand. He uses it right here on Nate's King's Road.
Yeah, speaking of slow starts, so this King's Road and the Summer Harvest is really my only economy right now, and both of them are pretty crippled this turn.
Straight wamboozled. Man.
Yeah, so he just treacheried my King's Road, really slowing down my tempo, and I play Tyrion. Once again, kind of hard to see. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's
Tyrion,
all right.
But the important thing to take away from this marshalling for Nate is, Nate's kind of in a little bit of a fragile spot. He's pretty weak to military claim. He doesn't want to claim the Cersei dupe. Saving saves for Valor. He can't claim Tyrion. And claiming the Red Cloaks puts him in danger of
a march to the wall.
Yeah.
And that's not super uncommon, especially in a Lannister Reigns of Castamere deck. I don't know Chris's plot deck at this point, but I don't want to put myself in that position where if he marches, I have to lose either Tyrion or Cersei. So yeah, I'm really not strong right here.
Right. It sucks that you can't set yourself up as much as you can for a nice late game. You kind of have to worry about your board position right now.
Chris, on the other hand, has a lot of economy going for him. He just played down another Rose Road, and as we can see in his hand, he's got a lot of these low-cost characters, which are going to help him establish this early board presence. I think that's very important, especially with 2 Lannister decks duking it out. But it's important to remember not to overextend. You want to.
Lannister's got a lot of threats for dealing with the board, either First Snow of Winter, Valor, Wildfire, all things that they can pull off in a moment's notice. And you're going to need characters around after every single one of them.
Exactly. And because these resets happen so frequently, the characters you want to have around afterwards are cheap, easy to play.
Yeah.
Like, the reducers, the 1-cost chuds. That's why I usually don't like to play 2 at a time. I like to save one in my hand because that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Having claim soak is very important.
It's definitely the unintuitive play. I know definitely the default play, a lot of people You see two chuds, you say, hey, I can put these into play for free. Why not? But sometimes, especially if you know the game is going to go longer, Lannister decks both are notoriously slow to get power. Sometimes having those extra characters or even just intrigue claim fodder can be nice to have around.
I agree.
All right, Nate, so it looks like...
so I've done an intrigue challenge here.
Yeah, it looks like your general plan for this marshalling phase is you have trial in your hand, right?
I do have trial, so I've sat on no gold, but that's okay because we have Tyrion.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, and I throw an intrigue Chris's way, get my Tyrion gold, and I stealth the Red Cloaks. This is important because I force him to either kneel Cersei to stop me from triggering my agenda, or then I get my agenda, which is fine with me. And
yeah, it's the idea of stealthing the littler dude to make him block with one of the bigger characters. Just to, make them either give you that unopposed power or kneel out too much of their board so that it's not worth it for them.
You always want to put your opponent in a position where they can make the wrong choice.
Yeah, they can make a mistake.
Stealthing the Red Cloaks instead of Cersei, who has the most strength, like, it's not necessary to stealth Cersei because he would rather chump block with the Red Cloaks.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe Red Cloaks.
Let him get off cheap.
Yeah, so if he had blocked with Red Cloaks and Chella, for example, he could come back at me with 2-claim Cersei, but now he's forced to block with Cersei, and that's what Chris ends up doing. I'm going to take my 2-claim. Man, it hurts watching this every time. I forget my Shadow Black. Don't forget stuff like this, guys. Don't
high
pull
level
a
play.
Nate.
Remember your triggers.
Yeah, so I just skip straight to the claim. I catch myself, but I don't do takebacks. That's
Did
not
you catch
me.
yourself right there?
I caught myself right there.
You could have totally triggered that.
Nah.
You could have triggered that.
I rolled the dice, dude.
It doesn't matter.
I rolled it.
The dice aren't official.
The dice are official to me. So now Chris is down to 1 card in his hand, and even though...
Yeah, Chris is in a little bit of a dicey spot. Yeah, his board's really populated, but it's very fragile, like we've been talking about. If a Valor happens, if the first Snow of Winter, he's going to be left with 1 character, 2 characters, and no cards in hand to repopulate the board.
Yes, so he comes at me with a military challenge. Right. That's
yeah,
right.
And then this is where it gets kind of dicey for you because you have to... I think you end up doing the Cersei dupe.
Yeah, because as we were saying earlier, I can't really claim the Red Cloaks. Yeah. Because what if he has a March to the Wall? Then I'm really screwed. Then I'm down to 1 character.
I think at that point you have to go with the assumption where he does run with the March to the Wall, because that would be worst case scenario.
So by claiming Cersei, I make myself more vulnerable to the Valor, but I don't think he's going to Valor next turn. Yeah. That's not as likely as maybe a March to the Wall.
Chris has really set himself up in a kind of an awkward position where he really can't take advantage of 2 of his resets, Valor or First Snow of Winter, both plot resets, which are easier to pull off as opposed to Wildfire. But both of these resets would really screw Nate, but they would also screw Chris just as hard with only having 1 card in his hand, or the First Snow of Winter would also hurt him very poorly too, getting rid of 3 of his characters.
So it looks like that's the end of the challenges phase. Bringing in like a recap of this turn. It looks like Chris is ahead. He's definitely ahead on power. I've got 0. He's got
definitely
3.
Ahead on board position.
Way ahead on board position. He's got a dupe for his Cersei. Or no, his Chella. Yeah. He's got a dupe.
Right.
He's got Cersei. He's got more characters and he's got more economy.
Yeah. So the pretty obvious play for Chris here is to count in coppers, which is obviously what he does. And then...
So we're keeping in mind right now that I'm behind.
Yes,
okay?
Nate, you're behind. You have to catch up.
I need to catch up, and I need to do that fast. So I opt to play a big money plot here because I don't have any. Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, we go with we're gonna go with trading.
You're trying to catch up. Chris is trying to stay ahead.
So when he finally gets around to picking counting coppers,
right. Is it much longer?
It's fine. He'll get there. We'll get there. We always get there. But yeah, both are fine plays. Chris is staying ahead. I'm trying to play catch up. And
it's all about the draws right now, right? How many cards do you have in your hand, Nate? Like 4?
I've got a big hand.
Yeah.
I've got more than Chris. Chris has 1 card. And that's why I really like trading with the Pentoshi. 10 gold every time. Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you just don't get your economy and you need that plot. Not having that plot right here, I think would make it very hard for me to play catch up like I need to.
Right, even if you flip Calling the Banners, which someone might say, hey, look, Calling the Banners is so good right here. It's only 8 gold, not 10.
That's true. Man, even with all of his characters. So Chris finally plays Counting Coppers. He will draw his cards, but I'm definitely going to not win initiative because
he makes himself go first?
He won initiative. He's making himself go first because he's got Janus in his hand. That's his one card left.
That's right.
But that's cool with me because I've got some tricks up my sleeve.
Nate's got a milk.
Well, yes.
Spoiler alert.
I've got a milk. And he triple dupes.
We could talk about triple dupes.
Chella, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't really like doing all 3 copies of a character.
It's really hard to kill a character that many times. Especially since dupes are mainly like saved from Valor. Nobody's like putting to the sword a character with a dupe. No one's going to use ice on a character that has a dupe.
But what is more likely to happen is that character gets milked or cravened. And sometimes you just need to march that character.
Yeah, and then you can play another copy of it. Or it stays in your hand for intrigue claim.
Right, but by putting down all 3 copies...
Right, you take away the marching your own character play.
The intrigue soak, and it's unnecessary unless he really thinks I've got like Varus or something. So he plays Janus, which is why he went first.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Chris is now also back down to 2 cards, and this really sucks. And it just kind of sucks the most because it's all like economy locations. He got another Western fiefdom this turn, and
there's the milk.
Yeah, there's the milk. That's pretty annoying, Nate. What the fuck?
I'm sorry. So, Chris is ahead. We can see how Chris is ahead. Right. But this turn, where I drop Milk on his Janus, 2 good characters, and now a dupe for Tyrion, a bodyguard. But
save.
Still, a save for Tyrion. Now I've, put myself in a position where I can maybe make a move.
Well, I think we can definitely say you've come back on board position, especially since Chris invested 3 gold into Pycelle, which only has 2 strength on 2 icons, and 5 gold into Janos, which after being milked only has 2 strength on 2 icons. And Chella, is a 4-cost character, but again is only 3 strength on 2 icons. He has a lot of characters, but his strength is not very high.
No,
I think. Whereas your Gregor's Marauders, a solid 4 for 4.
Oh, I love the Gregor's Marauders. We won't talk too long about that one, but yes, a solid 4 for 4.
A solid 4 for 4.
Just helps you pull off the agenda.
Yeah.
Every time.
Really nice.
Every time. It's a 4.
Every
gold.
time. 4 for 4.
It's not 5 gold.
Nope.
Okay. It's a 4 gold.
Yeah, Nate, you played some really good cards this turn.
Yeah, Chella's pretty good, and having Tyrion is really nice.
Yeah.
Chris opts out of challenges. He passes to me. He decides that he wants to be reactive.
Can't get any value. So, Nate, looking at this board, I think the thing that's going through your mind is the how fat you can make your intrigue challenge to try and pull off a wildfire.
That's definitely got to be the goal in mind, is to pull off the wildfire. That will not only even us out on characters because I'm behind, but that will activate my Chella, who is, when she's active, probably the best character in the deck.
Yeah. Yeah. Chella gets active, and Chella goes rampant. And I think that's definitely something to take note of for the deck, is how really destructive Chella can be if you are able to pull her off with the wildfire combo.
Which isn't that hard. You need 3 people to die. It doesn't even have to be 3 of your opponent's characters.
You need 9 characters total in play. when you wildfire, and you can trigger Cella.
That's perfect.
It's pretty dumb.
It's super easy. It works out great in the deck. So I do an all-out intrigue. I'm not trying to play games here. I just want to get the wildfire off.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of wildfire, we can say one really cool thing about all the combos in the deck, and I'm saying combos with air quotes.
They can't see the air quotes.
Right, but like they're not really combos because half the combos usually are a plot. You know.
That's what makes the deck, I think, so consistent. And we've seen that across the tournaments we've taken it to, a few store championships.
You're really able to control when you're pulling off these combos.
Exactly.
You only need one piece. You only need the one trial.
Speaking of trials, so we...
But sometimes you have all the pieces, Nate.
Sometimes you get everything. It's the perfect storm. You get the wildfire, which we flip into right here.
Yeah.
Cella picks up, I think, 5 tokens. Yep. That looks like she gets 5 here, so Chella's nice and
then
fat right here.
6 with the red cloaks dying, I think.
We got 6 with the red cloaks. Nice.
So gross.
So that's pretty cool. So now we're going to move on to claim. This is my second favorite part. This is the trial by combat with Cersei. So now we've got a 2-claim military to follow up that, reset down to 3 characters.
Yeah.
So he can't claim Cella twice. He can't use 2 of her saves. So
another reason why the trip dupe is not incredibly good. If you could do 2 saves, I think a trip dupe would be way better too.
Although I guess there's an argument here where playing that 3rd dupe was helpful because now I can't Valor. But
you would never Valor here. You've got to look at your Cella.
All right. That's fair. But
don't you dare defend the trip dupe.
All right.
Learn your lesson.
So that was a really good turn for me. And now you can kind of see how I have evened out the board. I started out kind of behind. I mean,
Nate has had no economy.
No
this entire
economy.
Game. King's Road was treachery.
I was behind on characters until just this turn. And through the right plays, like trading at the Pentosh, getting out the wildfire, which
a good strategy.
A good strategy with the options to do it, which this deck gives you those options.
Yeah.
It lets a good player be good.
Yeah, which is really the important thing. And so Chris flips into Confiscation to get the Bodyguard of Tyrion, probably going for a 2-plot, looking to Valor next plot, and wipe Nate's board. In game, Nate was pretty confused why he didn't Valor here. And I can see definitely an argument for Valoring because Cella's pretty bonkers right now. But
I play March to the Wall.
Oh yeah,
I was trying to figure out. But okay, so this is part 3 of the combo, the Wildfire Trial by Combat. You follow all of this up with March. Chris went from 8 characters.
Chris has so many characters.
Chris had 8 plus characters down to 1 character.
Yeah. And has 4 cards in hand.
I can see him not Valoring. I
think it's definitely fair.
Yeah. So sorry, Chris. I'm sorry for giving you a rough time. But so now I'm definitely screwed if he decides to Valor. He's got to do.
Because you only drop the Hound.
I only play the Hound. Once again, I don't have any gold. I got 4 gold from my March to the Wall. I made myself go first because Cella Intimidate. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And again, I'm kind of worried he's got this dupe on his Cella, a Valor right here. I've got no saves. I mean...
Yeah, but Chris really needed to top deck characters this round, which he did. He ends up top decking a Tywin. And really needs to kind of just... He's just kind of stuck in a spot because he can't count in coppers again, where he needs to top deck characters for the rest of the game. Or come back at Nate right here. And break his board. What else can we say?
But Cella's so good.
Cella's so good.
She, by herself, is 10 strength with Intimidate and Renown.
And you flip power behind the throne this turn to a stander and do a second challenge with her?
I think that's next turn. But I'm able to control his Tywin this turn, and that's pretty good. Cella's a good card. And if she's active and you have the opportunity to Valor, you probably should. Because if they get a way to save her, like a dupe or the Eerie, then she's just racking up Renown and Intimidate every round.
You don't have to worry about the Bodyguard on her.
There is no Bodyguard for her.
Right, because she's not a Lord or Lady. Right. You don't have to worry about the Bodyguard, but...
Just don't worry about it.
You got to worry about those dupes in that Eerie, because if she sticks around, it's pretty tough. It's like Victarion if Victarion had like 10 strength. You know?
Victarion's pretty good. But Chella's pretty good. And
Chella's got an intrigue icon.
She does. And she's only 4 cost.
Yeah.
Which is not bad. That's not
Which
bad.
is really good.
So...
This is when Chella's way better than Gregor's Marauders.
I do like it.
But they did their job.
Yeah. Sir Gregor's Marauders. Again, I could talk all day about the efficiency of Sir Gregor's Marauders.
Yeah.
But I won't bore our viewers. I trigger Shadow Black Lane to fetch Treachery after winning the Intrigue. We need Tywin with Intimidate. We're going to grab a snazzy little... Did he unoppose? I guess he unopposed it. That's fair. I guess we should get Claim. I'm lucky and I get Cersei. And then we get Renown. Chella's just racking up Renown. She's a monster.
Yeah, especially when Lannister is so slow to get power. Like, Nate still only has 3 power on his house card.
Yeah.
If Chella didn't have Renown, he'd be tied with Chris right now. You know, on power.
So we do a power with Tyrion, get that. And I decide to pass over to him. I don't want him coming back at a military with me. I want the Hound to be able to defend, but he decides to throw an Intrigue my way.
I mean, both players definitely making the correct play there. He has no need to...
Oh, wow. I just can't keep Tywin in my hand.
No.
I've seen this video a few times, and I'm still surprised every single time.
Like, he's not going to get the Tywin this time.
It's not going to be this time. I keep thinking, like, how did I not play Tywin? But, so at this point, I'm thinking of Chris Valor's. I'm in some trouble, but it's very interesting because this game has been very back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
There was some evenness going on at the beginning,
and even right now, you could even make an argument that the game state's kind of even.
Still pretty even.
No one's really run away with the game, and I think, Nate, this is the plot where you really run away with the game. Because Chris flips trading, you flip counting coppers.
See, this is where I thought he was going to play Valor, especially because the Hound is still out.
Yeah. It just sucks that he has the Tywin. That sucks.
It does suck, but
he's got Ghost of Harrenhal.
He does have Ghost of Harrenhal out.
He's got ways of getting him back.
So, yeah, I mean... What? I play counting coppers, he plays trading.
Yeah, and really, the reason you take this game, you're able to run away with the game right here, is because you draw, a dupe for Chella.
I play... No. I play Littlefinger, and I get a dupe for Tyrion. So now he's not able to Valor as effectively.
Yeah.
So, that kind of...
Now you've got to save.
Look, he's, like, visibly upset.
Visibly shaken by the intimidation factor of Littlefinger.
And Tyrion.
And
Yeah, but I think that's all we really wanted to cover with this game. It's just showing that you can start kind of behind, but don't give up. You know, you definitely can turn around.
Never give up.
You can turn around even when your opponent is playing perfectly and they're making all the right moves.
Right.
You can still, do it yourself. You can make the right plays and just I don't know.
What else is important? What else can we learn from this game? The importance of characters.
Having
characters that during all stages of the game, to be able to soak up that. Like even Nate, right now on his board, eating a military claim is going to be really tough for Nate. I think you eat a military claim this turn and have to kill the Hound.
I do. The Hound has to die.
Yeah, if you just had a Chud right here, how awesome would that be?
I wish I did have a Chud.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. And I can't claim Tyrion's dupe because I still have Valors to consider.
Yeah, both players Valors. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the game? Anything else we can learn from it?
I don't think there's anything else we can learn about it just from this, but I will say this Lannister Reigns of Castamere deck, it's pretty good. Chris and I are both playing it here, and we play again in the finals of this tournament. So it made the top cut in Swiss and the top cut in finals. That's pretty good.
We'll definitely probably make a video on the final game. But it's a pretty good deck.
It's a fun deck, definitely worth trying out if you haven't before.
Yeah, I don't think Chris is running any of the jumper stuff either. You can find our deck list on a.
We'll post. We'll share a link from Thrones TV.
Sure, maybe you can post an updated deck list on Thrones DB.
That's a good idea.
Be like Festival of Fools winner Nate Tortellini.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this video this week.
We'll be back sometime. I know our schedule really isn't. It doesn't exist,
No.
but we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll make more. These are pretty fun. These are cool.
I'm sure.
To everyone who comes up to us at tournaments and says your videos are cool, we really appreciate that.
Please keep coming up.
It definitely gives us more motivation to keep making them out.
A reason to live.
Yeah, a reason to wake up in the morning and go to Game of Thrones.
It's
tournaments.
you guys.
All right. That's enough of that. That's enough of this. Guys, thanks. Subscribe if you want to watch some more videos by us. Don't if you don't want to. But have a good day.
Stop recording.